When you said struck by a baseball, I was immediately thinking like somebody got attacked.
Sure.
That's where my head goes, is this former law. Like somebody got attacked. But this person was actually out coaching,
pitching, and somebody hit a baseball with a baseball bat, and it actually accidentally went through the L screen that's supposed to protect the pitcher, and hit him square in the forehead, and they ended up in the emergency room. So,
oh wow.
Be Nice Individuals Podcast.
Hey folks, this is Thaddeus. I am at the Flagler Voice Podcast Studio, where the Be Nice Individuals Podcast is hosted. Today we have a very special guest in the studio, J.R. Meyer. You may have seen him around social media, out different networking events. He is the owner of J.R. Meyer Consulting. He comes alongside individuals and businesses to help them. And he's going to tell us more about that specifically. J.R., it's a pleasure to have you in the studio, brother.
thanks, Thaddeus. Appreciate it, man.
So what is J.R. Meyer Consulting? I know that's a big question. Go ahead, lay it on us.
Sure. So J.R. Meyer Consulting is simply here to help small businesses with any kind of business consulting they need. Specifically, I focus on helping their employees get affordable benefits, so delivering a affordable, friendly health alternative solutions for their families by offering Aflac. So Aflac is what I do mainly for the employees. And then I also do a telemedicine, and I'm a life insurance. I would call myself a life insurance specialist. It's a passion of mine to make sure that people have the right life insurance in place. So I do group plans. And then on the individual side, from an entrepreneurial side, I've started businesses in the past. And so I help kind of a business, kind of talk through ideas or strategically connect them. I'm a connector and a helper. So in the matter of conversations, when they come up, I kind of consult them and kind of maybe more like give them some ideas and thoughts about where they're at and ways to grow or save money. So I able to kind of recognize those from conversations and then put the right recommendations in place as my consulting piece. So.
Yeah, so when I first met you, I met you through Stephen Schwarmer. You were coming out of Good Vibes Nutrition. And I actually met your wife first, Cassie. She was at Spin. And whenever I say Spin, people always think like the bike class. It's not the bike class. I don't bike, but it's a senior provider information networking meeting. And Cassie, your wife, she does the volunteering for a hospice. And so she was saying something like, you have to meet my husband, JR. And it was that exact same day, actually. I don't know if you know the story. Did I ever tell you the story? But it was the same day she had said that. I head over to Good Vibes, and there you are with Stephen Schwarmer walking out of Good Vibes. I'm like, she told me to meet you, and there you are. But I knew you first as the Aflac guy, and as I've learned more about you, I've learned more about the other things that you were able to do. Some of the stories you've told me, though, about your helping individuals, specifically like businesses, to kind of help with those medical issues that are coming up. Can you share any specific stories as it relates to like Aflac and how you have been able to help somebody in a very difficult situation?
For HIPAA reasons, I can't mention names, but
of course,
for sure. I mean, there's health situations that come up every day. Mm-hmm. But one, I've had two just in the last couple of weeks that I'll mention. They're both business owners. Mm-hmm. So I opened up business accounts for them, and they chose the accident plan, which is very affordable, literally around $6-7 a week. You can get the accident plan. Well, one had a bad car accident, so help them do their claim and get paid for that accident. And then the other one got struck with a baseball. They were volunteer coaching out there off the job. So the beautiful thing about the accident plan is it covers on or off the job, and accidents do happen, and you can cover yourself, you can cover your spouse, you can cover your entire family for very affordable rates. So those are two examples, I guess, of how I've helped people put those in play. And when people use the policies and they come in play, it definitely helps solidify the change, the impact you're making in families' affordable rates.
When you said struck by a baseball, I was immediately thinking like somebody got attacked. That's where my head goes. Is this former law? Like somebody got attacked, but this person was actually out coaching, pitching, and somebody hit a baseball with a baseball bat, and it actually accidentally went through the L screen that's supposed to protect the pitcher. And hit him square in the forehead, and they ended up in the emergency room. So, oh wow,
yeah.
And are you able to share kind of how much that person saved by having a plan such as this, or?
I'll just let you know they're going to receive pretty much half of the entire yearly premium back on that one situation. So.
Oh, that's excellent. Yeah. And that's the thing with like insurance or. Yeah, and no, this isn't necessarily like specific health insurance. I don't know how you specifically classify it. I don't know, it's supplemental.
Sure.
But everybody out there that is thinking about it, it's like, you don't need it until you need it. And then it's too late. You can't call Aflac a day later after this accident and be like, hey, can I get that policy and can it be retroactive? You need it before these situations happen. Sure. Now, let's transition a little bit. You said you're also in life insurance as well. Can you speak more to that? What you do specifically with these individuals, businesses, however, to come alongside them? I know we have Aflac, which is supplemental, but life insurance, I assume that complements it very well. So speak to that.
Sure. I mean, the sad reality is we could buy car insurance, never have to use car insurance our entire life. We could buy home insurance and never have any kind of home claims. But the true reality is that at some point we're going to pass away. So my goal is to make sure that whoever would pass away, and whenever that would happen, whether it is a parent or unfortunately a child, that they have the right proper protection put in place that's not going to impact them financially in the matter of a stressful loss in their life. So life insurance provides income replacement. It provides paying off debts. It provides paying off what it would be for your final expenses, whether you're buried or cremated. There's a cost there. It also takes care of paying off a mortgage, and then child, college expenses. So, for instance, if you had a mother that passed away and she was the one that was caring for the 3 children at home, and they're all under the age of 12. And the husband works full time, what happens to the kids? Yeah. What takes place is sometimes I don't need life insurance. I'm good. Well, one of the great things that our country does for life insurance is it's tax free to the beneficiary.
Oh yeah.
So there's no tax implication. So if you have a large estate, I always ask the question, why do the richest people in the world buy life insurance? And one of those reasons is they like to keep Uncle Sam from touching their assets.
Yeah.
And so, like you get back to what your point was, a lot of times when people reach out to me for life insurance or for cancer insurance, which 1 in 3 people are going to get cancer, 1 in 2 men, unfortunately, will get prostate cancer. Statistics are alarming of what we have, an epidemic of health situation in our country. And so, you can't call afterwards, so when somebody reaches out, I really need life insurance. I really need this insurance. I'll usually ask the question because I've been doing this long enough to know what happened, what's going on.
Yeah.
And if it's a doctor report, something's recorded in history by a doctor or by a police officer that you've had a car accident, whatever it is, I can't go back and put that in place, like I said, retroactive. I wish we could.
Yeah.
But, risk is basically where that's what insurance is. It's the transfer of risk from you to the insurance company at a premium based on your risk rating, I would say.
Yeah.
So my recommendation to all folks out there is to schedule an appointment with me and let's chat about your financial situation and talk about what life insurance would look like, and not just that, but also I was able to put a group plan together for a friend of mine that's a pastor, and found out that there was 3 team members on his staff that couldn't get life insurance, but I was able to put a guaranteed, no questions asked policy in place for everybody up to a certain amount And so we had full elections, and I think like 10 out of 11 employees, 9 people signed up. And so we were able to get, one of the staff members was his wife, who had cancer 4 years ago, which would not be insurable. So there's guaranteed plans out there that I can put in place as well. And that's also that's more for the business side. So
we're in Palm Coast. So 100% of people are going to die. It's a startling statistic, But Palm Coast is an elderly community. If there's not any, well, you can have it at any age, right? But I feel like as people age, they definitely want to have that life insurance in place to pay off those assets that you were talking about, cars, houses, and stuff like that. You had made a very interesting point, and I had heard this before when talking to you, but the rich, they like life insurance because it's a tax-free way to transfer wealth. That's amazing to me. I wish I knew that like years ago. Now, is that specifically like, do they use like whole life? How does that work?
Sure, great question. So there's 2 types of insurance out there. And actually, I just met with a 79-year-old man that did not have any life insurance at all. And so up to the age of 80 is generally what you can do for most companies out there.
Okay.
So you definitely don't want to put this off. Also, the earlier you do purchase, the less expensive it is.
Yeah.
And also, if you're healthy, some people say, I'm healthy, I don't have to worry about life insurance. That's actually when you need to use your health as a leverage against the life insurance companies to lock in the best price.
Yeah.
So whole life is basically going to take you to around age 120.
Okay.
And term is going to basically take you in a 10-year, 20-year, sometimes companies will do 15 years, but 10, 15, 20, and 30-year term lengths. And so you can't buy a 30-year policy past the age of 49.
Okay.
And generally, you have to buy it 6 months before you turn the next age. So your price is going to be based on your next birthday after 6 months of your previous birthday. That makes sense. So life and so whole and term, definitely great questions to ask. Me and talk about that. We'll go into detail, but it may be too complex for a podcast to get into.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
But there's conversations I have, and again, when I sit down with I prefer spouses to be there, so I never have an appointment generally without the other being there. And the reason why is the life insurance is actually for the spouse left behind. So when I have my individual conversation with them, Thaddeus, I ask the person left behind what their needs are based on this process that I take each person through, and then they're able to answer that question in front of the person that's going to be the one having the life insurance on them. So life insurance is for the individual person, not for basically the whole family. So you buy it per person. Okay. So when they pass away, you have life insurance for them. So,
okay. Yeah. One thing that I learned maybe within the last year is that there was something other than term life insurance, like the whole life. I'm like, man, that's kind of a cool idea. That it acts almost like a investment piece with the interest that it accrues and all that stuff. So we'll have to talk about that more again some other time. But people out there, that's an investment vehicle, and I don't know what your opinion is about term life as an investment vehicle, but whole life, I know you put money in and you're supposed to be putting in a certain amount or whatever, and it's accruing interest is very stable. Like, it's not risky. Again, not a financial advisor, but that's what my understanding of it is. And very interesting.
There's a fixed contract. So, without digging into the weeds too much, I can spend maybe 30 seconds kind of explaining it. Yeah. And we can kind of whet your appetite a little bit. Yeah. But the way I basically stated is there's 2 buckets. Okay. There's a bucket of your death benefit, and there's a bucket of cash value. And so as over time grows, your premiums are put into a side account. Those side account is owned by the insurance company. They invest that money into stocks, bonds, real estate, anything they want to invest that into. As they grow, they have a contract with you, the policyholder, to basically pay you the minimum of what that contract is. Okay. If it outperforms that contract, you're still going to get that money. But what happens is, as they dump that money into your buckets, your death benefit grows but your premium never changes. So the premium stays the same. It's a level premium for as long as you live based on the term that you agree to. Okay. So there's like, sometimes you can do a 20-year, 10-year payoff where you kind of like a home loan, or you can do pay till 65, or you can do pay till 95. Okay.
Yeah.
So you can choose what affordably you want to, but you have a death benefit that continues to grow. And so you'll get that. So if it's a $100,000 policy, for instance, and it grows to $175,000 at the time you die, you get $175,000, even though you bought a $100,000 policy. Okay?
Yeah.
That's one bucket. The second bucket is a bucket of cash value. You can use that cash value and it grows, and it basically compound interest is what helps it continually grow significantly after the first few years. But you usually don't see accumulation for the first couple years. But after the first couple years, you'll start to see it grow. And that cash value you can use several different ways. You can cash it out. You can use it for tax-free income. You can also use it to pay your premiums. So there's a lot of great living benefits that are available through life, for life insurance through the whole life situation. Whereas term is basically just flat, and it's great. You can buy more. And I've heard the term buy term and invest the rest. And sometimes we don't always do that. So the whole life, I'm not married to either one. I'm a fiduciary, so that means I do what's best for my clients, and also with their budget in mind. So whatever they can afford to do, and then hopefully that answers the question in a nutshell.
No, it did, and I'm glad you kind of jumped into that, because I wanted the audience. I know a little bit about it. I wanted the audience to have more of an idea of it, because I feel like not a lot of people know that there's a difference. There's term life, which I feel like when people think death, they think term life. Not a lot of people have that exposure to whole life, so it's great that you provided an explanation for that. Now, you were talking a little bit about your different entrepreneurial things you've done, and how, because of your experience, you're able to come into businesses and look at how they can save money or increase their profitability. Can you speak to that?
Sure. So I would say that I was a banker for 6.5 years, and so I was highly trained to kind of look at things and examine the people that sat across my desk. Not only that, but sometimes the people across the desk, they taught me. And so I learned from entrepreneurs that were very, very wise. I've been in, I planted a church in Portland, Oregon from scratch, my wife and I, and, we sustained that for 12 years. We bought a building. We only had like 20 to 25 people ever max. So to buy a building in the city of Portland and own a church building that the actual church bought, I experienced myself, hey, how to do this. So sometimes when you're put through pressure and timelines of, hey, I need to buy this building, I don't know what I can do, and I don't look great from the normal situation. I think those experiences of learning from business owners across the desk at Wells Fargo, also helping people build their credit, help people pay off debts. I've been kind of gifted by training. My grandfather was involved in stocks, and at the age of 5, I wanted to be a stockbroker. But he kind of taught me, skills that I always put in play. And so when I went to college, I never paid any debt at all.
That's great.
I paid my college off. I never left college. So a lot of people leave with student debt. Paid off my first car. So I'm not one of those big believers in a lot of debt. And so I try to help people save money. So when I see people spending, money that they're spending on their business, where I could see them owning that and gaining equity, I'll have that conversation and say, hey, why don't you look at these options? And so I just kind of bring that kind of the knowledge, if you will, of what's maybe available that they may not be aware, just from my entrepreneurial experience of being pressured into it, or kind of like being mentored by people that I ask questions. And I think if you have the right questions, that's what I do. Is in the consulting, it's more asking questions and finding the information out from the person across from me, the business owner, and really diving into what they'd like to do. And then try to, it's always enjoyable to help them attain that goal and reach that goal, and be a blessing to them. So a helper is where that comes in, and a connector, connecting maybe people that are in that field that they need a referral to. I enjoy that. That helps. Just gives me great pleasure to bring that resource.
Yeah, so that's a really holistic approach to businesses, I feel like. So you have Aflac, you have death benefits, but you also have your experience and the knowledge you've gained over the years of interacting with entrepreneurs and being an entrepreneur yourself, but also the connections, because the connections, that's really how you make money in this world. It's those warm referrals. It's there's ads. Nothing wrong against ads. But the best connections are really the easiest way or the best way to make money, in my opinion. And so that's nice that you have that holistic approach. So any closing remarks or any closing thoughts that you might have that maybe I didn't ask a question about as it relates to your business?
Sure. I would say, if you're a business owner out there and you care about your employees and you've been wanting to bring some benefits to them, and I'm definitely a great resource for you to reach out to. And you'll find that you can trust me with your employees, and I kind of just customize whatever is best for that business. There's no pressure. There's not a whole lot of cost, to the business. I don't try to bring extra cost. I try to bring extra value. And my extra value, I believe that I bring to not only the business owner, but also if I gain access to their employees, I bring the consulting that I don't charge time, any money for, to sit down with them, to walk through financially, to have those HIPAA conversations, to kind of examine what financially is going on in their life, and then pick the best benefits a la carte situation. And that's what I really enjoy, because what's good for family A is not what's needed for family B. Right. And what's good for family A and B is not necessarily what's good for family C. And so, to be able to have the flexibility that I have to kind of put a package together for the business owner, I think brings value, retains their employees, brings loyalty. I think people work harder when business owners take care of their employees. And also when it comes time for you to grow or to replace, I try to lower that turnover cost and help them attract the employees that they're looking for. And so I'm here to service, anywhere in Florida. I also travel in the U.S. and can get a license pretty simply in other states. So I'm available, and I'd love to have a 20-30 minute consultation with you.
If you haven't met JR is a very authentic person. He is there to help people. I believe it's how he was brought up, but not only that, his background's in ministry, and we talked a little bit about that. Ministry, one of the largest aspects of it is to come alongside people, help them through whatever struggles they're having in their life. And now he's still doing that with his own ministry, which is United Refresh Network, but also doing that in a business aspect. So a business that's struggling, they're having different things, or maybe they have needs. Now he can help them with Aflac, he can help them with life insurance, and he can actually help them look at their financials and see how they are maybe wasting money, maybe they can save money, that sort of thing. And also connect them to different individuals that he knows and has had great contact with. So this has been Thaddeus at the Flagler Voice Podcast, which was where we're filming the Be Nice Individuals podcast show. Again, this studio is a place where you can come and rent out the space. You can shout out your business, your ideas. Maybe you're a political candidate. You can reach out to your constituents. We have call-in features here. Make it a live show. Make it interesting. So get scheduled now, and we'll see you next time.